Morning, everyone. Meteorologist Bill Rentschler in the 1011 Now streaming studio. Hope everyone is having a nice Tuesday morning. Again, pretty hot the last couple days. Thankfully, not going to be quite as hot today. Still going to be pretty warm out there. Still could be having heat index temperatures up around 100 degrees, but actual air temperatures not going to be around 100 degrees today. So that is some good news. So taking a little bit of a step in the right direction, but we are going to keep an eye on a chance for some showers and thunderstorms across the coverage area today, and we'll dive into that here in just a second. First, again, as we start off, again, this is a look at high temperatures yesterday, and again, you can see it was very warm. These are all above average across the 10-11 coverage area, with highs reaching the low 90s to the lower triple digits. State high temperature went to Beatrice yesterday, 102 degrees there, 101 in Lincoln, which was a couple degrees cooler than what we had on Sunday when we topped out at 104, but also 101 in Nebraska City, 100 in Falls City, as well as in Omaha. Upper 90s in in Grand Island, that is, rather. Lower 90s in North Platte, and then we had 80s to right around 90 degrees across the Nebraska Panhandle. So again, awfully warm out there for your Monday, and again, we had those feels-like temperatures, especially for the southeastern corner of the state, well into the triple digits with those heat advisories in place across the eastern sections of the state. So again, in Lincoln, yesterday was our sixth day this year at 100 degrees or better. Again, so back-to-back days. Again, we had the 25th at 104 degrees for a high temperature, the 26th at 101 degrees for a high temperature. 3 days so far this August at 100 or better, so awfully hot over the last 48 hours or so. And again, still going to be warm today. Not quite as hot, though. No triple digits, at least for those actual air temperatures. And again, that leads off our weather headlines, though. Still going to be hot, still going to be humid today. So it feels like temperatures still could be approaching that 100-degree mark. We're going to keep an eye on the chance for some scattered rain, I think, throughout most of the day today, but our chances will be highest, I think, in the afternoon and into the evening time frame for southeastern parts of the state, including here in Lincoln, and can't rule out maybe an isolated strong to severe storm. But as we look at the longer range forecast, we do have some cooler temperatures that are kind of looming as we head towards the Labor Day holiday. So again, that could be some good news, especially again for a long weekend. You might see some more comfortable conditions as we head towards the weekend and then into Labor Day next Monday. So we'll take a look at that here in just a little bit. Right now, though, in Lincoln, again, there's some clouds out there, just a couple minutes past the top of the hour. Temperature is much cooler. Again, yesterday at this time, we were already into the 80s. Right now, 76 at the airport, 74 at the studio. Winds are calm. Dew points are in the middle 60s. So all in all, not too bad for late August as we start our Tuesday. Temperatures across the state, you'll notice we are unfortunately missing quite a few reporting stations from Wayne over to Ainsworth, down to Ogallala, North Platte, McCook, and then over to Hebert and even Beatrice, Nebraska City right now are all offline. Again, that is a FAA issue. The FAA is the one who operates and maintenances and services those official ASOS reporting stations at those local airports. So hopefully those will be coming back online sooner rather than later. The reporting stations that we do currently have up and running right now across the state have temperatures ranging anywhere from the upper 50s in parts of the Panhandle to the upper 70s right now in Falls City. Dew point temperatures, again, not as high as they've been, but they're up around 70 degrees for some spots. So again, muggy, certainly in some locations there, mid-60s in Lincoln as well as Grand Island and Hastings. We'll call it humid, but not horribly humid out there. But again, a little bit of a thick start to our Tuesday. But again, you can see the dew point trend over the past couple days, especially Saturday, Sunday, and yesterday. We had some very humid conditions. It's going to stay on the humid side as we head through the day today into Wednesday. So again, hot and humid conditions continue even into Thursday. But then a front will push through the area, not only bring us a chance for some additional thunderstorms on Thursday, but it's going to usher in some much drier conditions, much drier air into the forecast. And you can really see that yellow line there as we head Sunday into Monday. Even drier air pushes in. So again, that's why I said we could see some pretty comfortable conditions for our Labor Day holiday that we'll look at here in just a little bit. Right now, there is a frontal boundary that's kind of stalled out, stretching from up near Wayne down towards Imperial. And again, winds behind that front, generally out of the north or northwest, out ahead. Still have a little bit more of a southerly or southeasterly wind. And that front is going to slowly kind of drift across the state as we head through the day today. And that could be the impetus for, again, some scattered showers and thunderstorms that are going to be possible through the day today. Not a lot of wind shear in the atmosphere today, though. We'll have enough instability, but again, not enough wind shear. And so what that does is that'll create more of a multicellular storm modes or pulsy thunderstorms. And that's what we could have, I think, especially as we head through the afternoon and evening, is storms that develop thanks to the instability and heating of the day, the amount of moisture that we have in the atmosphere. But what they'll do is they'll pulse up, and they may get strong to even marginally severe for just a brief period of time, and then they'll kind of rain themselves out. So again, those are kind of tough to warn for because they are severe, potentially marginally severe for just a brief period of time before they begin to weaken very quickly. But it's that frontal boundary that'll be the potential cause for our thunderstorms later today. Satellite and radar picture, again, we dealt with some scattered showers and thunderstorms through the overnight period into early this morning. Again, just a few minutes past 9 o'clock. We still have a few lingering light showers out there, mainly across north central, northeastern parts of the state, but most of the state right now is fairly quiet. If we punch up the visible satellite right now, again, we can see some of that activity. You can see some of that vertical activity in the visible satellite imagery. So again, there's a few showers and maybe a few rumbles of thunder out there, but again, I think very pulsy activity is what we're going to see today. Otherwise, again, you see the visible satellite imagery, plenty of sunshine, especially for kind of the western third of the state to start the day. More variable cloudiness as you head across central and eastern sections of the state. Back over to our, again, radar and satellite imagery. Again, zooming out, looking at a more regional view. A lot of the severe activity we had last night, again, up across northern parts of the state. There was some very large hail reported. I believe it was up near O'Neill or Ainsworth, 4-inch diameter hail. So some very large hail with some of those thunderstorms. Most of that activity, though, or the bulk of the severe activity, was across parts of the Dakotas and then into Minnesota. And again, you can see some of that remnant activity pushing across parts of northern Wisconsin into the Michigan Peninsula. But overall, again, things are fairly quiet across the middle parts of the country this morning. You zoom out and look at a national view, and again, overall things right now are fairly quiet for most of the country. If you look at the weather alerts across the country, again, some fire weather watches across much of Wyoming into parts of Montana. And again, still dealing with some of that heat, especially for areas just off to our east, eastern Iowa, southern Wisconsin, northern Illinois, into parts of Indiana, Ohio. Heat advisories, excessive heat warnings are currently in place for those areas. Also have heat advisories in place for South Florida. But again, overall, no major storm systems expected to impact the country as we head through the day today. So we check out Skycast as we head through your Tuesday. Again, you'll notice, especially for the eastern and southeastern sections of the state, I think we're going to be dealing with variable cloudiness. That front is slowly going to drift south through the area. I think as we head into the afternoon and early evening, that's when we're going to start to see some of those showers and thunderstorms begin to develop. This is 5 o'clock this evening. Our in-house model has most of that activity across parts of Kansas, but then you'll notice between 5 and 10, that activity kind of tries to drift at least into the southeastern corner of the state. Again, I think most of the activity is probably going to stay south or southeast of the area. Some of the other short-range models don't have really much of anything in our area as we head through this evening. And again, our in-house model, this is the latest run. Again, previous runs had a little bit more activity, but it's kind of trending maybe a little bit less. So it's something we'll have to keep an eye on. And this is 10 o'clock tonight. And again, our in-house model has most of that thunderstorm activity across parts of northern Missouri and into western Illinois. And then as we head then overnight and into the day on Wednesday, expecting a hot day on Wednesday, but it should be generally dry, mostly sunny, and I think just, again, hot and humid. Again, a spotty shower or thunderstorm can't be entirely ruled out for the day on Wednesday, but I think most areas stay dry. And then into Thursday, another another cold front's going to sweep through the state. So I think as we head into Thursday afternoon, Thursday evening, another chance for some showers and thunderstorms across central and eastern Nebraska. And again, some of those could be on the strong to severe side. So that is This is probably our next best chance for rain. I think the chance is there today, but I think the chance on Thursday might just be a little bit better. So if you look at the Storm Prediction Center, the severe weather outlook for the day on Tuesday, again, a slight risk across much of the Great Lakes, Wisconsin, northern Illinois, into eastern Iowa, but we do have that marginal risk extending back into parts of southeastern, south central Nebraska, northern Kansas. Again, so one or two of those pulsy thunderstorms. Can't rule out that one or two of those might be on the marginally severe side. If we do see that, it would likely be 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts and maybe some quarter-sized hail that those storms could produce. Not expecting widespread severe weather across the area, though, today. Tomorrow, again, I think Wednesday's generally dry. but again, we won't rule out a stray shower or thunderstorm. Any severe weather looks like it's going to either stay to our north, across parts of the Dakotas, where there's a marginal and slight risk for severe weather, and then there's a marginal risk off to our east across the Ohio Valley. And then for the day on Thursday, that next cold front that arrives, marginal risk. So again, can't rule out an isolated strong to severe storm. Wouldn't be surprised if maybe we saw a slight risk added to this as we get a little bit closer to the day on Thursday. That's something, of course, that we'll obviously keep an eye on. Rainfall potential over the course of the next week. You can see for the next week, this takes us again into the first few days of September. Really get west of the Rockies and not expecting much if any, in the way of any moisture. Again, Texas looks like it could see some decent moisture as we head over the course of the next week, which they'll always take, especially down near the Gulf, near Houston. Some tropical systems down there could bring in some couple inches of rain. Otherwise, kind of across the northern plains, up into New England, southern Canada, they could see again some decent moisture as we head over the course of the next 7 days. Here at home in Lincoln and across eastern Nebraska, we're looking at maybe a quarter to 3/4 of an inch of rain over the course of the next week. Again, we'll obviously have that chance today in the southeastern corner of the state that could bring us some moisture, and then again on Thursday would likely be our two best chances as we head over the next week. You head further to the west, rainfall amounts taper off as those rain chances become a little bit more isolated. High temperatures today, again, you can see much cooler for most, but again, still out ahead of that boundary. Southeastern Nebraska is still in the upper 80s, low 90s, 91 for Lincoln, 92 in Falls City, 90 in Hebron. Feels like temperatures still likely approaching, if not maybe just briefly, right around 100 degrees. I think by Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday evening, it'll still be humid. So again, still going to be feeling a little bit on the gross side today, but actual air temperatures, thankfully, about 10 to 12 degrees cooler today compared to the last couple days. Otherwise, generally in the 80s to near 90 for central Nebraska, and then mid to upper 80s across the western parts of the state. Lows into Wednesday morning are generally going to be in the upper 50s to upper 60s across the state. High temperatures then Wednesday afternoon. Again, it will be a hot day, hot and humid again. We're looking at low to mid 90s for most of the state. Chadron could be right around 100 degrees Wednesday afternoon. 93 in North Platte, 91 in Grand Island, 93 for Lincoln for the day on your Wednesday. And then Wednesday night into Thursday morning, where it's anywhere from the low 50s in the far west to the low 70s in the east. Thursday afternoon temperatures, again, you can see as that second front moves through, it's going to be cooler for central and western Nebraska, 70s and 80s. Still out ahead of that front, though, Thursday afternoon, still looking at upper 80s to low to mid 90s for the southeastern corner of the state. But then behind that front as we head through the weekend, and then again another front in the weekend and early next week, that should usher in some more comfortable conditions. So you check out the extended forecast for Lincoln. Again, that 30% chance for showers and thunderstorms, that'll be likely this evening when that window of opportunity would be for us here in Lincoln. Mainly dry, I think, on Wednesday. We'll throw in that 20% chance. Again, might see an isolated spotty shower or thunderstorm, 93. Upper 80s on Thursday, 40% chance for showers and thunderstorms. Again, that would likely be Thursday evening, but then dry Friday through the Labor Day holiday weekend, mid 80s Friday, upper 80s Saturday. That's something we'll obviously keep an eye on. As again, Huskers open their season against UTEP Saturday with a 2:30 kick. Temperatures are in the mid to upper 80s outside. It's likely going to be in the mid to upper 90s in Memorial Stadium. Again, when you got 90,000 people crammed in there, and again, got that direct sunshine in there as well. So want to make sure folks, again, while it's not necessarily going to be in the 90s on the temperature map, it's still going to be pretty warm there in the stadium. And then you'll notice Saturday into Sunday temperatures drop right around 80 for Sunday, which is the beginning of September, and that is the beginning of the meteorological fall season, something that I personally look forward to. It's one of my favorite seasons. And then upper 70s for your Labor Day next Monday. So again, the holiday weekend right now shaping up looks like to be pretty good. Mostly sunny, mainly dry, and again, temperatures warm to start, but then a little bit cooler than average to kind of finish the holiday weekend there. So it looks like it should be pretty good. The 10-day forecast for select cities across the state, you'll notice that trend again staying a little bit on the warmer side over the next couple days, especially on Wednesday, but then cooler as we head into the holiday weekend, and that spills over into early next week, and it looks like either near normal or just below normal temperatures for most of the state for much of the work week next week into that first week of September. 8 to 14-day temperature outlook looks like this. Again, yesterday you'll notice we were in the blue where we had decent odds at below average temperatures. That was kind of covering the Labor Day holiday Tuesday of next week. This is September 3rd through September 9th, and most of the state has better than average odds of seeing above average temperatures, which again, by that time frame, September 3rd through September 9th. Our average high temperatures are going to be just a little bit cooler and generally in the lower to middle 80s. Again, if I punch up the data for Lincoln here, if I go September 3rd, our average high in Lincoln is 84. By September 9th, it's 83. So that just means we could be seeing temperatures in the middle to upper 80s, not necessarily 90s, but above average temperatures through that time frame. And then the precipitation outlook, much of the state looking at either near normal or at least equal odds at either below or above average precip, but just extreme southeastern Nebraska, slightly better than average odds for below average precip. So that's obviously something that we'll keep an eye on here as we head over the course of the next several days. But a couple more hot days, not quite as hot as it's been the last couple days, but a couple more hot days to get through. But it does look like we have some really nice weather heading our way as we head through the Labor Day holiday weekend. This weekend, again, we'll obviously keep an eye on that Saturday forecast as the Huskers open their 2024 campaign against UTEP, 2:30 kick. Right now, the forecast looks okay, but again, it does look like it will be warm, but it looks like those dew points should be fairly comfortable, so that is some good news there. So appreciate everyone for tuning in, for watching. As always, again, right now we are live on all of 1011's digital platforms, 1011now.com, news app, weather app, Roku, Fire TV, Apple TV, all that stuff, as well as the 1011 YouTube channel. Again, if you're on the YouTube channel, I would appreciate you like and subscribe. It'll give you notifications, let you know when we are live, carrying lots of different live events from the streaming studio. Again, Monday through Thursday, daily, have this just little live forecast update, 10 or 15 minutes long, just kind of let you know what you need to know. But then we have plenty of other things throughout the week. Again, from our End Report Husker show with sports director Kevin Suits to Star City Buzz, me and Danielle kind of just letting you know what's going on for the weekend. So plenty of things to kind of keep an eye on, plenty of things to kind of help keep you in the know. So we appreciate that like and subscribe on that YouTube channel. So appreciate everyone for tuning in and watching as always. Again, as always, keep it tuned to 1011 both on air and online for all of your latest news, weather, and sports. Hope everyone has a nice Tuesday.